And welcome to our general session for May the 14th, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So today, before we get started with approval of the minutes, we have a special announcement to make, and it's my honor to do this morning, and I hope my colleagues are all ready for this. Today, we celebrate our county administrator, Ken Wilson's birthday, and everybody in the audience.
Now, I hope you know I have terrible allergies, but I will do my best. I can barely talk correctly, but I will do my best.
You gonna sing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You lead the song.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ken. Happy birthday to you.
I had my microphone off so nobody could record me. Thank God.
I must say, I didn't expect that this morning. I didn't expect
Yeah, I
that.
haven't seen you blush often.
I've worked on my birthday a number of times. I didn't expect that when it rolled around. But thank you, commissioners. I appreciate it.
He wore purple today on purpose, just because he knew I wasn't going to get mad at him on his birthday.
Ken, I can't ever forget your birthday because you share a birthday with my eldest grandson, who's 15 today. So, happy birthday to Vincent today. Privilege of the president. And congratulations. And nobody on your staff can get fired for reminding us. They were worried. So I will ask for the approval of minutes of April 2, April 9, April 16, April 23, 2019 general session, and the minutes of March 14, May 2nd, 2019 briefing session.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
The minutes have been approved.
thank you. On to the engineer.
Resolution number 341-19. Resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond with Kokosing Construction Company for the 2019 Franklin County Resurfacing Program, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $3,895,423.02.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is Cornell Robertson, the County Engineer for everyone in Franklin County. With me today,
Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering.
Commissioners, this first resolution is the annual resolution for county road resurfacings. This particular package includes about 23 miles over 19 sections in 9 different townships. It's basically double the amount of resurfacing the previous year, and that is due primarily to the additional $5 motor vehicle registration fees that you all approved about a year ago. So thank you.
Well, a quick question. I'm curious as to your familiarity with the gas tax increase in the Ohio General Assembly. What do you project this would be impacted by based on the current bill and where it's headed or where it stands? How do you see that number being impacted or changed, if at all?
Well, I know that the estimate for county engineers all across the state will have their revenues increased by about $1.5 million as a direct impact from the gas user fee increase. And so $1.5 million, that's substantial. And we will certainly be able to do more resurfacing That's a nice component that the constituents can see immediate results from. But we'll also use some of that money to feed into design, which will translate to additional road and bridge projects being done at a little bit of a delayed time frame, but will certainly be realized by the constituents. So that money will start rolling in July, and so again, we'll be able to utilize it then. But this ability here to increase this package is from the motor vehicle registration fee increase.
I don't mean to belabor this, but I also want to make sure, so that money that comes from the gas tax is also distributed evenly amongst the 88 counties. So it doesn't increase because we're a larger county with more roads, it just is based on one of 88, correct?
Correct. Yep, that amount is divided by 88. It may be helpful to the rural counties because that comprises the majority of their budget. And then to offset that for counties like Franklin County, our motor vehicle registration fees help us out because that's definitely based on population and the number of vehicles that are registered in our county.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 341-19.
Okay. Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 341-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 342-19. Resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Strasser Paving Company for the Norton Road and Johnson Road Improvement Project, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,895,174.15.
Commissioners, this is a capital improvement project in the southwest part of the county on the line between Pleasant and Prairie Townships at the intersection of Norton and Johnson Road. We'll construct a single-lane roundabout as a major safety improvement. We held a competitive bid on April 9th. We had 6 bidders, and Strasser was the lowest and best bidder.
Well, if there's no further comments or questions, move approval of resolution 342-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 342-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 343-19. Resolution approving street, storm, and water improvement plans for the farms at Jefferson Phase 1 and 2, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, as noted, this resolution seeks approval of the street, storm, and water improvement plans for the farms at Jefferson Phase 1 and 2 subdivision. The semi-development is located in Jefferson Township in the northeast part of Franklin County. This will allow the developer to begin installing the necessary infrastructure for the development of the subdivision. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there's no comments or questions, move approval of resolution 343-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 343-19 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a happy birthday, Mr. Wilson. You're welcome.
Community partnerships.
Resolution number 344-19. Resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the King Arts Complex to provide after-school arts and STEM education programs in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnerships. This resolution will really fill a need in the King Lincoln District. There are not a lot of after-school opportunities for children. So this program will, with the Commissioner's support, be able to serve 100 children, really working with children to improve their attendance and focusing on math and science and arts enrichment for the out-of-school hours, as well as some additional summer programming. So pending any questions, I would request approval of this resolution.
You know, these are some of the most important things we do throughout the summer for our kids every year. This is every single year since I've been a commissioner. These are these resolutions that we do for summer youth education, summer youth employment. I mean, the things we do every year, I think, are. I know Marilyn and I have talked about this many times. It allows
for so much, not just for the kids, but the freedom for the parents to be able to know that they've got a place for their kids to go, so that they can, a good place for their kids to go, so that they can go to work. And it's just it's such important stuff. And so
You're right.
these particular resolutions that we do through community partnerships, but also through JFS, are critical things that we do every year. So thank you.
Come.
Move approval. If there's no other comments, we'll move approval of Resolution 34419.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 344-19 has been
I
adopted.
didn't mean to exclude Kevin from that. I just meant that, I know for years Marilyn and I have been voting on these, and then Commissioner Boyce as well for the last few years. But I just was recognizing the fact that the 11 years that I've been here voting on them, Marilyn's been here longer than me doing it, and so
That long.
just the last couple of years with Kevin, the last 2 or 3 years with Kevin. But it's just I was thinking back to the number of years that we've been doing this, and so with the commissioner sitting right in front of me, I was thinking about that. So I didn't mean to exclude you on that comment, Kevin. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 345-19, resolution authorizing a contract modification and extension with Vision Service Plan for Vision Plan Administration Services for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $180,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Leese, Assistant Director of Human Resources. Vision Service Plan is the plan administrator for the Franklin County Cooperative for our Vision program. This contract amendment is a pretty standard renewal. It extends the current contract until March 31st of 2022, and it also modifies the administration fee that we are paying from 92 cents per employee per month down to 86 cents per employee per month. And VSP has been a very good partner with us, and pending any questions or comments, I request approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions or comments, move approval of 34519.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 345-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 346-19. Resolution authorizing a business associates agreement with CBiz Benefits and Insurance Services for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program.
This resolution authorizes a business associates agreement, or what we call a BAA, with CBiz Benefits and Insurance Services. CBiz will be conducting a medical claims audit on behalf of the Franklin County Cooperative, and as a result of that, they will be given access to certain sets of protected health information. So the BAA holds CBiz to the same standards of privacy and security that we, the plan, are held to when handling this protected health information. So all parties were in agreement that this BAA needed to get into place before they really got into the audit itself. So pending any questions or comments, I request approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, move approval of Resolution 34619.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 346-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jody.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 347-19, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,031,976.93.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Interim Director of the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests your approval of 105 purchase orders. Included in this resolution are 25 eligible POs totaling just over $121,000. These are defined as POs in which small and emerging business enterprises are likely to participate. Of these POs, 13 were awarded to SEBEs totaling $61,100.08, which is 52% of the eligible PO volume and 50% of the eligible PO dollar value. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, I recommend their approval.
If there's no questions, move approval of Resolution 34719.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 347-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board of Commissioner resolutions.
Resolution number 348-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Future Ready Columbus to provide education and training to strengthen early childhood education for vulnerable children in Franklin County in the amount of $400,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. And we're so thrilled this morning to be presenting this resolution for Future Ready Columbus. This dovetails nicely with the King Arts Complex resolution, again, focusing on Franklin County's vulnerable children and providing high-quality early childhood educational opportunities. I'm very pleased this morning to welcome Jane Leach. She's the Executive Director for Future Ready Columbus, and she can speak a little bit more to the resolution and the work that we will be supporting.
I'm
Great.
delighted to, and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, Commissioners. Happy birthday, sir. I'll have to mark this date on my calendar for future notice. Future Ready, we're focusing on the challenges and the opportunities that are before us with children that from prenatal through age 5. And we've worked with many providers and professionals in the field and have recognized that there are 6 drivers for success. And if we address those 6 drivers, we know that our children will be ready for kindergarten success, which is our ultimate goal. And because when your children are ready for kindergarten success, they read, they do better in 3rd grade, that's a predictor for they graduate from high school, they have a better life in an all-inclusive way. So that there are these 6 drivers include basic needs. So I want to thank you for the Franklin County Poverty Steering Committee because, and I know there's a report coming sometime in the future, but that will definitely dovetail again with the work that we do at Future Ready. Another driver is access to health care and mental health care. A third is the teacher quality, access to quality child care opportunities, investing in the family, because we know as the family goes, so goes the community, and so goes our county. And then our 6th driver is to really help build a community commitment toward children, recognizing that by investing in their lives, we are investing in the future of our county. So the 3 things that that are included in this resolution are dovetail nicely with those 6 drivers that we're focusing on in our strategic plan. You have chosen to, should you choose to accept this resolution, invest in trauma-informed care, not only for our children and their families, but for the child care providers. They're also in very stressful situations and experience trauma themselves, so an inclusive look at that. You've also included in this resolution is investing in the lives of fathers and helping them understand their powerful role in the emotional, social development, healthy development of children. And then the third thing is investing in vocabulary development and understanding the power of reading and reading to children. Now, the best news about all of this is that it does weave nicely into the 2020 Step Up to Quality mandate. Everything that we're doing at Future Ready, we do to take care of an immediate need, the Step Up to Quality 2020 mandate, with an eye toward the larger goal. So we get a lot of bang for this buck, and I thank you for your consideration of this resolution. I'm leaving with Dana our strategic plan so that you can see how, should you approve this resolution, how it fits nicely into the strategic plan of Future Ready Columbus. So thank you.
Thank you. We do have a speaker that's here to speak on this resolution from the Bread Organization. So Jane, if you want to sit down for a moment.
Will do.
As our speaker's coming up, Jane, I wanted to let you know, these are, as you commented through your, and our speaker can come on up, and whoever that is. All of the things that you mentioned as a part of your presentation are things that we have been investing in, fathers and all, childcare. I mean, throughout many resolutions, whether it's through our Job and Family Services Department or others. These are all things that over, a multitude of different resolutions and agencies we have always invested in. So this is a nice, concise microcosm of the things that we do. So great stuff. Thank you. I'm sorry, who's our speaker?
We have Reverend Charles Leister. If you would state your name for the record and address, that would be helpful. And 3 minutes, and to speak on the resolution. It says here you're supporting this resolution, and if you could keep to the topic, it would be helpful.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Reverend Charles Leister.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I am Senior Pastor at New Beginning Christian Center and Co-President of BREAD. My home address is 4806 Briar Grove Drive in Groveport, Ohio, part of Franklin County. We support your efforts to provide means to strengthen early childhood education for vulnerable children in Franklin County, yet it is equally important to ensure that these same children have safe, decent, and affordable home, providing the stability they need. You must act now, increase the conveyance fee to the maximum $4. On Monday, May 6th, BREAD congregations in Franklin County with memberships of over 20,000 of your constituents hosted one of the largest, if not the largest, community meeting addressing the housing crisis in Central Ohio. After the Nehemiah action, I and close to 2,600 in attendance came away disappointed. As I considered why, I realized it was due to part because of the fact that none of you chose to attend. Whatever the reason, whether it was conflicts of interest or schedules or other priorities, differences of opinion, or lack of respect for the process and people involved, still I left wondering why. Then I remembered a parable in the scripture of the wheat and tares, and one passage in particular. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way.
Excuse me, Reverend Leister, I don't like to interrupt, except that in this case, I feel I must. You and I have talked about the reasons that, at least for me, that I could not attend, and I'm really offended that you choosing this public forum to talk about the reasons that we did not attend and bring that out in this public setting. We, each of us, talked with you privately, and we would appreciate not having this public sphere for you to castigate us. I don't know if my colleagues would like to say anything, but this is really unfair of you when we talk to you privately about our reasons that we could not attend or would not attend.
Well, whether we attended or didn't attend, we have heard you on this issue week in and week out. I have hosted many of your members on this. I mean, you brought a dozen of your members to my office. I've hosted you in your organization in my office annually on issue after issue. To say that we have not heard you on this issue is simply just very disingenuous. We have heard you. Whether we agree with you or not is another matter. But we have heard you repeatedly. You want us to raise it to the max. We have heard you week in, week out, since January, week in and week out. To say that we haven't heard you, which is just, frankly, it's counterproductive and it's disingenuous. I had conversation with Reverend Aaron's 2 weeks ago after session about the tactics of this organization. I think he conveyed it. I got a report back that he conveyed my thoughts on the tactics of this BREAD organization at the Nehemiah Action meeting last week. It is, for this organization to come down and to continually do this is just not productive. To come here every week and to talk to us and to tell us what you think about the issue, that's productive. To choose issues that are important to the community is very productive. To do the research that you do and to continually be engaged is very productive. To be bullies, frankly, which is what your organization, that's how you conduct your business. You try to bully elected officials. You try to bully elected officials at City Hall. You try to bully elected officials at the county courthouse. That's what I have tried to call you out on for years. The actions and the tactics that your organization takes is frankly bullying. And I just, and to call it anything short of that, I apologize. If you think it's something else, if you think that it's the power of the ballot box or whatever it might be, it's bullying. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about my colleagues. I don't know about my other colleagues at City Hall or at the county courthouse. I meet with you annually. I meet with you regularly. Whenever my office is called and asked for a meeting, I meet with you.
Yes, sir.
But I won't be bullied. I refuse to be bullied. We think the issues are important as well. That's why I meet with you. But to tell us how to do our business or how to conduct our business, to think that your organization knows or understands the issues, frankly, better than we do, or that you've researched them more than we have, or that you understand how to solve them more than we do, or that others that experts have more than we do, is frankly also I just find it to be wrong-headed and the wrong approach. And I apologize if I seem as though I'm lecturing, but we get lectured every week by this organization. We get lectured. I was called out 2 weeks ago in the hallway, or here we were called out here on the dais where I was called out in the hallway. Then we were called out last week in front of 2,600 people because we decided not to come. Because, when we come, we wouldn't be given fair, time at the microphone. We would have had the microphone taken from us had I tried to give this kind of a speech at your organization. Because my friends have come before you before, and we know how this goes. So we are trying to solve as best we can the housing crisis in Franklin County. And to act like we're not, and to stand before us week in and week out and act like we're not, is so disingenuous. It is so disingenuous of your organization. We are doing what we can, and frankly, in the coming weeks, and now we're being videotaped. By the way, you don't have to do that. It's on public television. Just have your people watch it on public access television. We do this openly every week. But we're trying to do the best we can. In the coming weeks, we intend to put tens of millions of dollars towards this issue. Frankly, more than our partners towards this issue. We very much intend to do that. So we appreciate your interest. We truly do. We know that there's a problem, and we intend to do everything we possibly can about it. But to bully us I just find it to be wrong. Sorry. Thank you, and I apologize.
The only thing I would add to it, I think both of my colleagues have spoken quite well about perspective on this topic. Let me begin with asking Director Klarick, what is our annual contribution towards affordable housing as it stands today? And I would include what we do with the Community Shelter Board, because that's a housing investment as well. So do you have that? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but do you know what that number is, roughly speaking?
In terms of general fund, it's about $6.8 million is provided to the Affordable Housing Trust and the Community Shelter Board. And then there are additional dollars through economic development and planning, through the Emergency Shelter Grant and Community Development Block Grant that is provided for housing. I don't have that exact number in front of me, but that's in addition to the general fund.
Somewhere between $7 and $10 million a year.
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
And I just want to point out, and we've had this conversation, as my colleagues have said, I've met with you all as well. Whenever you ask, my door is always open, as I'm sure my colleagues are. I know that we're all pretty accessible in that way. But when we met before, and I'm only stating this for the record because you're here for the record, we met before, my specific questions to the group that was before me was, help us think of how to administer these resources better, more effectively, more broadly. The way we've been doing business today, as it stands, we're over 50,000 units short in affordable housing. And so the suggestion, all we've got is do more of the same, invest more, but do the same thing. And what I've said is, and I know my colleagues agree with this, is we want a comprehensive strategy and plan that isn't just business as usual, more of the same. You've yet to produce any ideas in that way. And we've invited you to be at the table in every way. And so I continue to request that element, that you are a welcome partner in the conversation. The 2,600 folks that you had, there are so many ways that they can be involved in helping to move the needle on this issue. And I think that's, to use Commissioner O'Grady's words, that's the productive approach, in that we all work at this together. We're all working for the same things. We all care about the same things. And we're trying to move this needle in affordable housing. And so I just ask you once again, join us. Join us in the conversation in an authentic, sincere way, but to suggest that we just raise, anytime you raise taxes or fees or cost, we take that with the utmost seriousness. And that means we need research, we need information, we need a full broad understanding of the impact, and it's not as simple as just saying, okay, well, we can raise it $2 more. I mean, there are several fees and taxes that we can just raise to the state maximum, but we don't, because we need to understand the depth of the impact. And furthermore, once you do, the bigger question is, what do you do with the money once you have it? And so, again, thank you for your input, and I thank Brad for what you represent in terms of community voice, but I challenge you. I challenge you to be partners with us in this and not adversaries. I think that there's a lot that many of the folks in your organization intellectually can add to this conversation, and I want to just encourage you all to do that. And I won't speak for my colleagues, but certainly I speak for myself when I say I'm a willing listener to those. I'm sure they agree with that. I'm a willing listener to the ideas and suggestions that you might have, and it's just not as simple as raising the conveyance fee and adding more money to the problem that has gotten us where we are today, as we, by the way, grow by over 1 million people over the next 20 years.
It's never as simple. And commissioners, both of you, I think you've added to what I was attempting to say. It's the tactics that are so difficult for us, because you don't have the whole picture, and yet you come week after week and say the same thing, and we've listened very respectfully, and we've heard, and for you to come here today to say we've not heard is very disingenuous, because we have. And I would urge you to step back and give us the time to act. And we will act, and you will see. But we are not going to be bullied into acting in a way that you may want us to. We are going to act in the best interests of all of the residents, because we have a whole picture in a comprehensive way that our team has been working on. And it may not be what you want, but it is going to be a comprehensive approach. And I hope you will respect us as we have respected you coming here every week for the past year. And that's where we are coming from.
If I could just off script, just conclude. One is your original statement, Commissioner, I wasn't here at the last meeting or with comments whether in the meeting or outside, so I was not part of that. We as BRED, we want to work with you, on this issue. We feel it's a significant issue in the community We believe a lot of people are being affected, especially children, because they don't have the stability that they could find at a stable and safe home. So it's significant. We've been working with a lot of professionals in our research, from the Curran Institute at OSU to a number of the other agencies in the community that deal with housing. And
As do we.
right, and finding recommendations from them as to how to address the issue and how it's the estimation it's over $1 billion that needs to be invested, and we are investing, and we appreciate what you have done in investing annually into the issue, what you are in the process of doing, and we as a community want to work, communities of faith want to work with you as officials to be able to take action to move toward making a significant improvement in the issues that we have. I appreciate, and we want to thank you for the opportunities you have given us to meet with you in your offices and to discuss the issue and other issues, and we appreciate that access that you've afforded us. We appreciate the invitation for us to work with you on identifying other possible ways of addressing this issue, because it's significant. At that action, we had over 90% of the people there had either themselves or knew someone that was affected by housing issues. So we know it's beyond the 2,600 in our community that people are being affected. So I personally would welcome coming together and discussing and understanding your approach and what your research is saying as compared to what we're finding out from the community, and to be able to come up with solutions that work for Franklin County. We simply, in terms of what our goal is when we work with officials is, and I apologize if come across as bullying, I don't consider myself a bully, but what we want to do is to be able to get clear answers, either yes or no, you support or you don't, and to be able to understand why, so that we can come up with, I think it's a term called compromise, and to come up with ways that will work and that are effective, where we invest the dollars. We know it's limited, but to invest the dollars that we have, that we invest it where it's effective and makes the most most accomplishment toward alleviating such a massive issue. So that's why we have come, and what we've received from these officials is saying the conveyance fee is one of the main ways we can provide additional funding to alleviate that. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Reverend, thank you.
We appreciate your words.
I think that individually, I've never met a member of the Bread organization that comes across as a bully. I just haven't. But collectively, the tactic of the organization,
It's the tactic.
the approach that the organization takes is very much that. But I would tell you that I meet with your organization annually, and the reason I do is because you're pretty fantastic at choosing issues that matter to the community. When Commissioner Boyce and I ran in 2016 together, we were asked what are the issues that are the most challenging to Franklin County. And the two issues that we identified were poverty and affordable housing. And those are the two issues that we've been working on for the last three years now, since we ran in 2016, that have been at the forefront of everything that we've been doing. Of all the other issues that the county has to deal with day in and day out, those are the two issues that we put on the front burner and that we have been spending all of our time working on day in and day out. I know in my office, and I think in each of the commissioners' offices, those are the two issues that have been on the front burner since 2016. And we are really close, as you heard Ms. Leach say earlier, we're really close to rolling out a blueprint for what our actions are going to be going forward here pretty soon on poverty, and we are very close, probably right around the same time frame, to rolling out what it is we believe we're going to be doing in the area of affordable housing. But It has been with a considerable amount of effort, considerable amount of research, with a considerable number of partners that we've been doing this work. And it is, but at the same time, this conveyance fee issue, it is, and I know that Brett has been asking and demanding for some time that we raise this issue, or we raise this number by the max. But I guess what I indicated to your members when they were in my office, what we have said all along, what I have said all along is, if we were to raise this number to the max, what then? What would our options be for future problems, for future crisis, for other issues that were to come up, or maybe even on this issue? If we raised it then to that number, if we raised it by that number, what would our options be then? We would limit ourselves if we were to do that. So I'd like for you to consider that, and it's a significant number that we would raise it by if we raised it to the max. So I don't think strategically raising it to the max is strategically. I don't think it's it is for future, one, for future problems, and two, for the future of this particular issue. I don't think it's the smartest thing that we could possibly do. So consider that as you know.
If, whenever your schedule allows, I'd be more than happy to meet with you to understand basic your plan, your strategic plan for that, as to how that would address, whether it's before or as you roll it out.
And we have other partners in this work that we're doing. The city's getting ready to make an announcement. The public or the private sector is getting ready to make an announcement. So there's a lot going on here.
Okay.
All right.
Commissioners, the plan is, as you've stated, under development. You all have tasked Department of Economic Development and Planning to work on this plan. Our challenge is that the depth of this problem is much deeper, as been stated, than simply increasing the conveyance fee. We would create disappointment for the community if this board was to take that action and that action alone.
Right.
For example, to currently support the needs of the Community Shelter Board and the Affordable Housing Trust, the conveyance fee that's levied right now does not do the job alone. And right now in the current year, that's requiring $1.6 million from the general fund to support those efforts. And along with that, the commissioners are using extensive federal dollars to try to aid this problem. Community development block grant dollars are being used, well over $1 million, $1.6 million in other resources are being used, $800,000 home dollars. We also, our levy agencies are partnering with us in dealing with this challenge. Office on Aging, for example, earmarks $1 million for home improvements. I know we've had a number of seniors come in and speak to us. So we do hear you, and we're doing these things. Not to mention that Adam H. is also a partner for nearly $600,000 in support of housing. And Job and Family Services, PRC dollars are used for rent subsidies in effect to help stem the tide with evictions and our challenges. So with all that has been said over the course of many weeks, the Board of Commissioners are working on this problem, but it would be unfair to try to create a community expectation by acting too soon and not look at something that's comprehensive in nature to make a difference, because the community is not going to stop growing. So we need to be thoughtful about this and strategic about this. And that this board is committed to you that a plan will be unveiled that is comprehensive and not just built upon the conveyance fee and the conveyance fee alone. So taking one single solitary action would not be the responsible thing to do today.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I just, instead of completing if you don't mind, I'll submit it that
Thank
you
you.
can put it.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
It does have some edits. We were trying to keep it to the 3 minutes. So there are some things crossed out, but if you don't
Thank
mind,
you.
Thank you.
I'll leave that with you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. If there's no further comments, being that there's been plenty, I would imagine, I would move approval of Resolution 34819.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Resolution number 348-19 has been adopted.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Dana.
Resolution number 349-19, resolution authorizing the transfer of appropriations and the contribution to the City of Columbus in support of Smart Cities Grant.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Schlerk with the Office of Management and Budget. Back in 2016, the board had authorized the county administrator to enter into agreements with the City of Columbus for the implementation of the Smart Cities Grant. As part of the commitment of up to $4 million by the county, it included a $1 million cash contribution, which this resolution will transfer the appropriations from contingency to economic development and planning in order to process that payment. Here is Mandy Bishop, Program Manager with Smart Columbus, to provide any details, any questions that you may have.
Good morning. First and foremost, I just want to sincerely thank all of you, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Boyce, and Commissioner O'Grady, for your generous contribution and really an investment in transportation in Central Ohio. The investment made here today will continue to pay dividends in the future. I also want to thank the Franklin County engineer and his team for their in-kind contribution. I know they've left, but they've been working very closely with us to execute the project. Over the last 3 years, almost 4 now, we've really been working to develop and implement the projects, and we're really reaching our stride where we've been launching our projects. We have our mobility assistance for persons with cognitive disabilities app that went live on April 29th. We're launching our prenatal trip assistance application for moms to be at the end of May. And we have several other launches, including another self-driving shuttle in the Linda community later this year, with more projects to follow in 2020. So with that, I'll answer any questions you may have about your investment in it.
We shifted gears awful quick there, sorry. Oh, man. I'm sure I probably have questions. I haven't come up with any of them at the moment. That was a quick shift. I'll move approval. If there's no other questions, I'll move approval of 34919.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Resolution number 349-19 has been adopted.
thank you.
Thank you on behalf of the mayor and my director, Mike Stevens.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Resolution number 350-19, resolution authorizing a contract with Maximus Consulting Services for the annual update to Franklin County's cost allocation plan and the data center's cost analysis and rate study in the amount of $40,000.
Commissioners, this contract will allow the county to recover indirect costs from federally supported programs and other non-general fund agencies in 2020. The plan that was developed last year identified $4.6 million in indirect costs that to reimburse the general fund, as well as $2 million in data center charges from those non-general fund agencies. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, move approval of 35019.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes,
Resolution number 350-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 351-19, resolution authorizing the agreements between Franklin County and the Public Safety Answering Points for the disbursement of the wireless 911 grant dollars.
Commissioners, this resolution would authorize agreements with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, the City of Columbus, the City of Dublin, and the City of Westerville, which are the 4 public safety answering points, or PSAPs, that are identified for funding in calendar year 2019. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no further questions, move approval of 35119.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown.
yes,
Resolution number 351-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 352-19, resolution authorizing a transfer of funds from from the general fund to the wireless 911 fund for the payment of interest earnings from calendar year 2018.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes the distribution of interest earnings on the funds that are held on behalf of the public safety answering points for distribution. It's a process that's been undertaken for a number of years. This year it would be equivalent to about $13,535 that will be transferred from the general fund to the wireless 911 fund for distribution to the PSAPs. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, move approval of 35219.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 352-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 353-19. Resolution authorizing a supplemental appropriation and interfund loan from the general fund to the Westland Parcel TIF 1 fund.
Commissioners, at the end of 2018, Economic Development and Planning had brought forth to you a resolution for the creation of a tax increment finance for the La Plaza Tapatia project out on the west side. Earlier this year, the drainage engineer authorized a contract for some stormwater improvements underneath the parcel. This resolution would provide funding to reimburse the drainage engineer pending receipt of the tax revenues beginning in 2021. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, move approval of 35319.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 353-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 354-19. Resolution authorizing a transfer of funds for the payment of debt service.
Commissioners, this is our semi-annual resolution for the payment of the county's debt service obligations. The resolution includes transfers of just over $11.6 million, including $10.1 million from the general fund. The total payment also includes $20.3 million from the sales tax-backed bonds that are held by the trustee. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no other comments or questions, move approval of,
Second.
what's that?
I was saying second of those.
Resolution 35419.
Second.
Moved and
Sorry, I
seconded
couldn't get
voting.
my page turned.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 354-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 355-19. Resolution approving an updated debt management policy for Franklin County.
Commissioners, this resolution updates the county's debt management policy. The primary change is the addition of the diversity and inclusion provisions that we discussed. In terms of the policy declaration, the paragraph that was added includes the Franklin County Board of Commissioners recognizes the community benefit of creating an equal opportunity for all vendors to participate in the county's procurement process. The advancement of economic inclusion improves equity, economic mobility, and quality of life for all Franklin County residents. Accordingly, the Commissioners will make a good faith effort and encourage others to utilize small and emerging businesses, which include small, minority, women, veteran, disabled, and LGBT-owned businesses, and diverse suppliers in all phases of procurement and contracting, including formal competitive bidding, multiple quote processes, and purchase orders. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there's no other questions, move approval of 35519.
I just wanted to recognize and thank the administration once again for the follow-up here. And I think this is very good language that is consistent with the values of these three commissioners and this county, quite frankly. So I think this is important and it's a strong statement. So I second the motion.
Amen.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 355-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 356-19. Resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of considering personnel matters.
If there's no other question, move to convene into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, promotion, and compensation of public employee or official.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
We are now in executive session.
Briefing room.
Thank you.